Or I'm just going to be 1,000% honest. If I were 22 today, I would not be dating black men at all, unless they were older. They'd have to be real old. Because they're too feminine these days for me. I like masculine, go get them. I'm gonna pay for that baby type men. Okay, where you want to go on vacation type men. That's what I like. If I was 22 today, I wouldn't date black men. I'm sorry. Y'all take too long to get y'all stuff together. Y'all want us to pay half the bills and sleep with you? No, can't do that. So I wouldn't be able to do it. I'm not saying that other men are better than you. I'm just saying they're more ambitious than you. Yes, you can play basketball and football really good. You dominate the rap game, but the average non-famous black man has less ambition. I like ambition. Ambition leads to success. Oh, sorry. Others have a financial head start. They are not more ambitious. That's not really true. You can't use that as an excuse. If you're ambitious, you don't need a head start. If you good, you don't need a head start. Seriously, my husband didn't have no head start. He's black. He came from a family of 10 in the country. He didn't have no head start. So what's your excuse? You come up with every excuse instead of every solution. That's your problem. You're going to sit here and say, oh, this, oh, that. You're going to come up with 10 excuses before you come up with half a solution. That's why you stuck. That's why women make more money than you. And that's why you are stuck. Okay? And that's just the honest truth. Everybody sees that. Everyone. Except y'all.
Fellas, I must be in a mood for self-flagellation or something. I was looking at, I just got through looking at a sprinkle clip. Yeah, she was 7 or whatever. No, she was 7. There's a chunky middle-aged broad that's married to, a regular black man who's grifting her audience and shit. She's a fucking scammer, right? She's the one that's telling all these women out here to become prostitutes and shit. Okay, and demand that you carry the Rock of Gibraltar on your fucking back and shit just to get a minute of their time. Okay, just get a minute of their time and shit. I want to tell you, sisters, that you're sitting out here talking about providers and all this bullshit. Okay, I want to tell you that you built the men that you are complaining about, the men you say you don't want. They were built by their mothers because the mother's the first teacher of the child and shit. I've said this ad nauseum for God knows probably 1,000 videos now. Okay, 1,000. You made these fucking men. Okay, all these men you're talking shit about, you're attacking. You want to come and empty a bag of ducats, gold ingots in your lap and shit, and then you give them abuse in a celibate relationship with maybe a biannual starfish sex and shit. You built these motherfuckers, these non-productive guys. You didn't understand your children. You didn't know how to nurture your children. You don't know how to be women and shit anymore. Okay, all you want to do is have a fucking a business meeting and shit. Okay, all right. That's what you want to do and shit. You don't know how. You talk about partners, but you don't talk about being fucking wives. You want to be stay-at-home wives and shit, okay? Not because of any maternal instinct. You just want to sit on your fucking ass and make videos on TikTok and shit, okay? Sprinkle, sprinkle. Okay? Sprinkle, sprinkle. My ass, man. I have a sprinkle for you. It's gold, okay? And it's wet. Alright? That's what I got for this fat, broad and shit. have any particular hatred. I find her humorous and shit. Many years ago, I made a Shira 7 video before I even knew about the sprinkle shit, and I pointed out the fact that she was non-selected, post-wall and shit, built like a weeble wobble, with like these big ass chicken McNugget upper arms and shit, like these biceps. They had like the skinny ass arm, and she had shitty clothes, and she had no style and no nothing. I would not go near her. The earlier version of me and shit, when I was just going into college and shit, wet behind the ears and straight up, simping and all that bullshit, would have never fucked with her in a million years and shit. Okay, when I was a kid and shit, man, I was non-select and shit, like big time. Okay, I was as non-select as you could get and shit without really being that. They had no the system, the woman speaking life into you was only there like in bits and pieces. I was breadcrumbed and shit, growing up. I was breadcrumbed the fuck out. Okay? So, I was predisposed to be, who I am today. Okay? I was predisposed. And I want to tell you, I knew that I was when I was going to be with a woman and shit, it was going to be a very attractive woman and whatever I thought at that time. And I accomplished that fucking mission and shit, much to my chagrin and detriment much later and shit, okay? Everything has shitty returns. That's the legacy of you sisters today and shit, is that you want fucking business partners, but you don't want husbands and shit. You are incapable of building anything from the ground up, and if you do, you are looking for a 5-finger discount and one arm and one fucking leg and shit. So nobody don't want to fuck with you and take verbal abuse and shit. And look at you put on your white woman disguise, watch you put on all this makeup and shit and these fake lashes and all this lipstick and acrylic nails and a wig and all this bullshit, looking like fucking Phantom of the Opera and shit when you don't have that shit on with a fucking bonnet on top of it. Nobody wants to put up with that. And the abuse, the verbal abuse and narcissism, that legacy, the generational emotional abuse that you guys think is normal and think you're being sassy and cute. We don't think that no more. Okay? We didn't think it in the old days either. But our mothers, your forebears taught us to carry weight, to push weight and shit like a motherfucker emotionally and shit. How dare you come and talk to black men about emotional labor or shit when you haven't done your job in over 47 fucking years. Alright? Sprinkle. Sprinkle motherfucking sprinkle, man. I got a sprinkle for her ass. It's fucking golden wet. Okay? Sprinkle motherfucker. Shit. Yeah. You want a provider. Okay? And at one point in this fucking video, she was saying that when she was younger, if she had her current mindset, she would have, the only black man she would have been dating is an older black man, probably the age I am right now and shit. And I know why she's saying that, because she's a lazy piece of shit, and she don't even want to put out. She don't even want to crack her dusty box, much used box, with scotch tape on the edges and shit so it don't fall apart. She don't even want to crack it or bust it open for that old motherfucker. She want his retirement check and his pension fund and anything he got in his motherfucking pockets. And she gonna bring over illegitimate children from Pookie to raid and ransack his fucking house while he's laid up and shit. Alright? They don't want to do anything. They're lazy as fuck and they don't have no roadmap back to femininity, which is why I told you brothers that you need to let that rotten fruit die on the vine. You have to date out of the community and shit, and I'm talking about outside the fucking West. There's no checks and balances legally to put a woman under the same restraints and restrictions that we have when we make a legal agreement and shit, in the eyes of this government and shit, by marrying their ass, and having kids and shit. That becomes a liability. The woman cannot be a liability to your ass. Do not get fucking married unless you have the ability to oppose checks and balances and consequences for bad behavior right off the rip. And do not get married unless you can afford a competent, tenured attorney and shit. Okay, all right. Sprinkle. Sprinkle. I don't give a bitch nothing. You don't give a bitch nothing. You might as well hire a professional, and then you can get the box and shit, and you don't have to get any of that baggage they got in the U-Haul that BBO U-Haul they dragging behind them and shit, okay? It's not worth it. It's not worth it. They all look alike. They all behave alike. They all have the same shit talk game and shit. What is what is there to invest in and shit if you're a young man and shit at the you know at the beginning of your journey. Okay, at the beginning of the journey, you're barely out of your house and shit, and they want to lock your ass down and abuse you and torture your fucking ass emotionally and mentally and spiritually and shit. So why do you need that drama? Okay, you can be free. Okay, be free, black man and shit. Be free any kind of way, even if you ain't got no fucking money and shit. Be motherfucking free. There's always gonna be some dusty ass black female looking around, looking to put you in her plastic bag and shit and run off with you and shit. When I was in my youth and shit, like my 20s and my 30s, I ran into a lot of these Shira 7s, with a chip on their shoulder and a stick up their ass and shit. And they was always looking for like a young dude because they knew that they had they needed the edge and shit for to over the guy and shit. And I had a lot of women offer me to pay my rent and shit. Yeah, a nonchalant guy. Like bitches offer to pay my rent, banging my phone at odd hours of the night and getting mad when I didn't pick up and calling me incessantly until I picked up just to talk some shit and then I was slammed my phone down. It was nonchalant. And all this shit, man. Living where I lived this shit, it taught me that everything was, the modern society and the female was like going to a fucking lunch truck and shit. This is what she's preaching to her sisters and shit. She ain't telling them to do anything to support a relationship, to be a part of a whole and shit. She's not telling the women that they're a piece and the guy is the other fucking piece and they come together and make a whole and shit. They don't know the concept of a family tree eludes her fucking ass while she's sitting in her little house lying her fucking ass off and knowing she got a regular basic black man and shit who's obviously not paying her fucking attention, or she could suck a fucking golf ball through 5 miles of fucking garden hose and shit. I don't even know. I don't want to hazard a fucking guess, but I know when I'm looking at somebody that's talking all this bullshit, cut the cap, sprinkle. Cut the cap, man. Save yourself, black man. We tell you that and shit. It's not some fucking mean. We really mean that shit. I'm an elder statesman in this community, a Generation Xer, and a misogynist anarchist and shit. And the reason I have to call myself a misogynist anarchist is because I don't care if the shit burns. Like that Usher song, like his bloated, burnt peen and shit. Let it burn. Let it burn. There will be no more Kiki Palmers and all this other bullshit. And it ain't Jermaine's fucking fault, shit. It ain't Jermaine's fucking fault. It's Bum Quisha's fault. For making bad decisions, having these bastard kids and then raising them all fucked up and putting them out there in society. So repeat the cycle and shit. Okay? Break the fucking chains, goddammit. Save yourself, man. Even if you can't get the fuck out of nowhere, you approach these women like you approach, a business, like you approach a business deal, all right? Then what's in it for you? Okay, they've been saying that shit for a long time. They're not even hiding it no more. Okay, the modern woman, in our ethnic community, and they listen to them talk and shit, run their fucking mouth and try to do emotional damage every motherfucking day and nag the fuck out of you and shit. The modern woman just wants to be a prostitute. Okay, listen to me. I'm a straight black man, an elder statesman of this community. I'm telling you and any sister, listen to me. Y'all want to be whores. Okay, you want to be a prostitute. You want to be paid for your fucking time and shit. So don't get mad when he leave 2 20s on your motherfucking bedside table.